Hey, hi, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. This is an experimental edit reading from my book, 47 Truths. Truth 24. We can only meet where we both go or where we both are. It takes two to tango, my mom still likes to say. This sounds obvious, deep on the surface, superficial in its depths. So often, though, we blame the other for where we end up, vibrationally and physically, which is ultimately the same thing on different scales, different outlets of expression. Never mind all that. The point is, meetings require at least two of us, and we often meet in familiar places, physically and vibrationally and emotionally. Again, same thing on a fundamental level. We like to blame one another for the way our interactions go, especially in situations where the result is trauma or abuse. And please do not misunderstand me here. I am not saying abuse is okay or that victims deserve their trauma. I am saying there is a vibrational alignment in every situation, and we have a higher degree of choice, can learn a higher level of control in our own responses, which can and does change outcomes. It's tricky. She's crafty. Beastie Boys reference. Come on. I am aware this is an anger-provoking stance for some, and I appreciate the controversial aspects of this truth. It's true for me. It doesn't have to be true for you. There's room here for more than one truth. I have contemplated this truth a great deal, as a victim myself. I was abused in infancy and neglected in childhood. I was incarcerated at age 13, 14, and again age 15. I was harassed, bullied, raped, beaten, lots of things when I was growing up. I've had sex for money, sex for favors, sex to get out of bad situations, sex for love, sex for affection, sex because I thought it was what my man wanted, sex just to see. I've been a thief and a liar. I've tried most of the drugs, many of them many more times than once, so I know what it feels like to be aligned with various states of being. I know on some level, vibrationally, physically, we must be aligned with what we are experiencing in order to experience that in that way. I thought about a time as a child I sat and tore the wings off of flies, just to see, not really feeling. That is what some of the men who raped me were like, wanting to feel powerful. Me, as a curious and somewhat cruel child, wanting to feel powerful. Not knowing, or caring, or contemplating why. I know what that feels like. I have been vibrationally aligned with all of that. And right now I'm not, because I say so. I decide, and I make it so. That is the part I hope you can understand. If you can only understand one part, you get to decide. You get to make you. You get to choose. If and it is or if and it isn't, all an illusion. It feels good to choose. Make your own way. Decide how to play. So, set your own boundaries and play. Choose. Line up with what you want, and be prepared for entropy, magnetism, coincidence, and all other sorts of wonderful dance steps along the way. Let's play. Let's meet when we both will enjoy being. That's one for me I'm working on. It seems to be a law of nature, inflexible and inexorable, that those who will not risk cannot win. John Paul Jones. I just remembered that camera's trying to follow me. I'm not watching. That's the end of my experimental edit reading of Truth 24. That's a heavy one for me. It's the first one that made me cry a little bit in my mouth, not in my mouth, in my eyes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. This is all a grand experiment. I love to know your feedback, I should mention. And I will be rereading these in their more polished post-production form at some point. But this is rawliciously just me in raw form going over the editing process, one little chapter by the next. They're short and sweet, and you can stay tuned for the next one, or maybe find a card or go hunting for it like a chicken hawk. Oh, yeah, or whatever.